Yellow just blocking in the house in my road, gotta make her put it on. She don't like wearing clothes, just left Concord, North Carolina. I was licking on booty and a whole lot of vagina. Eat a booze with some ice cream, she'll remember you. Ice Cube making chip, shiver like the winter do.
See me with the crew, I gotta get some food. I see you looking like you do. Had to make a move, make a move.
Yes, y'all. We back, man. I got my brother here, man. Vic Slang, motherfucking Hope, in the building with a special topic for today, man. The topic is 10 things black men should worry more about than the gay agenda. Okay, now, bro, I got 10 points that I feel like black men should worry about more than the gay agenda. And I'm going to run them by you, and we're going to discuss it, each one briefly. These are in no particular order. I just feel like they're the 10 most important things. And the reason why I want to do this video is because I understand that people is worried about the quote-unquote gay agenda. Some people feel like it is a real thing. Some people feel like it's not a real thing. The more I think about it, part of me feels like just like everyone else in America, every group of people wants to have their form of representation in the media. They want it too. And I also feel like, what if instead of people feeling like a whole lot of new gay people are coming out, what if they just are being encouraged to come out of hiding? And also, a lot of the people who have the most to complain about when it comes to the quote-unquote gay agenda is street dudes. But then we know how toxic street dudes are. It's like, you know what I'm saying? He'll shoot his own brother in the head and won't act like that's a problem. He'll rap and talk about killing his own people, but when he see two men holding hands in the street, he act like that's the most detrimental thing to the black community. And I feel like there's 10 way more important things that we should be worried about. So without further ado, are you ready, my brother?
Yeah, man. Let's do this. I think this is a good conversation. I do think there is other things that are more detrimental and more prevalent that we should tackle, though. But let me hear your points, though. I'm here.
All right, so my first point of the 10 things black men should worry more about than the gay agenda. Number 1, the prison industrial complex. Let's get to it. Now, the prison industrial complex, for those of you who didn't know, okay, we all know that it is a $1 trillion business of getting poor people, more specifically black people, locked up. Every time somebody gets a number, somebody makes thousands of dollars. It's free labor. Once you locked up, you could be making anything. License plates, pillows, beds, whatever.
Hold on now. It's not free. They getting paid.
They getting paid. A little bit of money.
It's a few cents. They get like 25 cents an hour. But you know what I'm saying, because somebody, people gonna come here and say all type of stupid shit. So, they get paid cents. It's still horrible.
Cents on the dollar, money that don't match their labor. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a part of the other 9 things that I'm gonna say, this is probably the most important thing that needs to be spoken about, because we gotta get this right and keep our men out of the streets and out of jail before we have a right to talk about anything else. Because when the men are out and the men are in positions to be productive, right, that'll influence the rest of society. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I agree. The thing I would say is this. I think the prison industrial complex is only an issue because we feed into it, right? And I know people don't like that shit. People don't like. I think the only way to really change things is to blame yourself.
Exactly.
For putting yourself in certain situations.
Self-accountability.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the white man don't got certain shit to do with it. I'm not saying that the ghettos that we come from don't got nothing to do with it. I'm not saying that the households we grow up in don't got nothing to do with it. What I'm saying is this. Blaming not blaming, but just keep talking about, well, the household, well, the neighborhood, well, the white man. It's not gonna get you anywhere. But when you tell yourself, you know what? I should have never joined the gang. I should have never did that. I should have never sold drugs. I should have never went out there and robbed somebody. I should have never went out there and do those things. When you speak on the I, you can actually start to change things. So that's what I mean by when I say, like, the prison industrial complex wouldn't really be a thing. You know what I'm saying? If we kind of like understood like what was really going on. A lot of times we don't really understand how we just agents of the state in some type of way, because we operating under their little maze, right? We like lab rats. So I think when people start to understand that more, they start to make better decisions.
Facts. I couldn't agree with you any more than that. You know what I'm saying? That's a big fact, and I feel the same way. You gotta blame yourself, but this goes with everything in life. You know what I'm saying? Corruption, all the way down to women, all the way down to self-discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you beating your meat all the time and you can't get it up when your woman around, or it's stopping you from going outside and going to work, are you going to blame Pornhub, or you going to blame yourself because you ain't got no self-control? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Well, moving on to number 2 of the 10 things black men should worry about more than the gay agenda. Gangs/gun violence. Now, we all know that this is a problem, and this goes back to self-accountability. Quite frankly, when I see people up in arms, when somebody who's not of us does something wrong to us, I feel sympathy if there's a life lost. I feel sympathy for the mom of whatever child. I feel sympathy for the woman. But we have to feel away when we doing these things to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Gangs are doing the same job that the Ku Klux Klan used to do. You know what I'm saying? In reference to your video that you put up recently. But gangs do the same thing that the Klan used to do. They doing just as good a job as the police. Like, if we say we have an enemy and the enemy wants us dead, we working harder than them for our own demise. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about that?
Yeah, let me add, they doing a better job than the Klan and the police. And this is why when people talk to me about police brutality and injustice, I'll be like, okay, that's external, right? Now, I'm a believer that before we start tackling external problems, we need to tackle internal problems. So how is it that we scream Black Lives Matter when the police kill somebody, black, right? Part of it is because it's their job, right, to so-called protect and serve. But when you understand that the job of the police is to protect and serve property of the elite, you know what I'm saying? Then you will understand the job of the police. You think the job is to protect you, but you're not property no more. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that police got a job to do, and once you understand what their job is, you won't be feeling as bad. But before that, we are doing shit in our own community. Why we don't shut down the streets when somebody kills a little girl? Yo, a little girl just got shot in the face in the Bronx, 11-month-old.
Niggas should be in an outrage.
Yeah, people should be. This is when shit happens like this. When motherfuckers is just running around the street, shooting into crowds and doing certain shit like this. People need to be shutting down the streets. People need to be shutting down bridges, tunnels. People need to be shutting shit down. The hood need to come together and be like, yo, homie, you need to turn yourself in, or you need to. This is the type of shit that the hood needs to do. You know what I'm saying? The so-called gangsters need to start putting pressure on the motherfuckers that's doing senseless shit. But I get it. A lot of like older people that did time, you know, a lot of people don't want to be into that type of shit. They already did their time. Like, people not trying to like risk it all. People not trying to like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. So, but I feel like we need to tackle our own internal issues before we start screaming the police shit or other shit. Because they obviously see that we don't value each other's lives. So what example are we setting for the other people that's looking at us?
Terrible.
They don't care about each other, so why should we care about them? That's my thoughts, bro.
Exactly. Facts. All right, so number 3 of the top 10 things black men should worry about more than the gay agenda. Hypermasculinity due to traumas caused in our youth. And we're going to highlight this even more on men than women, because women, even though they hide a lot of things, they get to speak on a lot more of their traumas, and there's a lot more efforts to have concern about that rather than young boys. And this is anything from a little boy being touched inappropriately all the way to, you know what I'm saying, him being abandoned by his mother, or him being raised in a house with parents who have drug addictions. All these little things that we hold in. Even if you're a little bit older, you could be 12, 13, 14, and like, for example, you may lose your virginity. A lot of people don't talk about the fact that a lot of us lost our virginity young, and it was to women who were older than us and were kind of too old to even be doing anything with us. You know what I'm saying? And this could be babysitters. Sometimes these are family members. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it perpetuates hypermasculinity to a fact where, as black men, we take the most pride in our ability to get women and satisfy a woman. And we base our whole entire identity on that. When in all due reality, developed black men are way more complex than that. You know what I'm saying? We have way more passions than that. We care about way more things than that. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes we have to grow up on our own and figure it out on our own, bump our heads a million times. Some of us got to go to jail and have to sit down and reflect on what went wrong with our lives. And you know what I'm saying? We all know black people avoid therapy, you know what I'm saying, like the plague, even though we need it. And I feel like this hypermasculinity leads to men growing up not being able to control their emotions. Some of them hate women, you know what I'm saying? These are the men, a lot of these men are the ones who join gangs and they hate their own people, and this keeps on and it perpetuates into the prison industrial complex. What are your thoughts, my brother?
One, I don't really like the term hypermasculinity, because I feel like that term is oftentimes used like the term black on black crime. Black on black crime, hypermasculinity. There's just certain terms that are used, kind of like and they are weaponized to kind of like attack like masculinity. I feel like okay, I understand what you're getting at. Let me stop you for 1 second. Let me give you a little bit more detail on what I meant by hypermasculinity. I mean men who are extra aggressive for no fucking reason. No. I got what you were saying, Nate. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, you know, for the people that's listening. Okay. I'm more rather. I like to use the term toxic. Not hypermasculinity. Toxic masculinity. That's what I meant. I don't like that trait. I mean, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand how it's used to kind of like demonize masculinity, right? So I like to use. We have false notions of masculinity. Yes. So we have like these false notions of masculinity, right? So where we think we have to be extra aggressive, where we think we have to sleep with the most women, where we think like, you know, we just think acquiring certain things makes us masculine, right? So I most oftentimes, yes, we do got a lot of men in our community have toxic traits. So that's I just want to say that, one. And two, I agree with you, and I think, like, I read the book Black Rage, and Black Rage speaks about that. Since the African men landed on this continent, right, he's been emasculated. You know, his woman was raped. He's been raped himself. His woman been raped, and he was never able to really do anything about it, right? So his manhood was literally being taken from him. And they said one of the ways that black men or African men recapture their masculinity was by sleeping with the master's wife, or his daughter, or his sister, or whatever, right? And it was by sleeping with the white woman. This is how these African men were regaining some of their power. So today, it translates to today, because today, our men still feel like this is, I know dudes that don't got shit, right? They might be hopping around from baby mama to baby mama couch, or just whatever girl let them stay in their crib in the wintertime, and they take pride in just bedding a lot of women, or having a lot of kids, or doing shit, or, you know what I'm saying, or how many motherfuckers I beat up, or how many bids I got. Like, you know, like, this is the stupid shit, right? That false notions of masculinity. And I think those false notions of masculinity is some of the reasons why we are so aggressive, we are so violent, we are so, you know, we so willing to put our penis anywhere, right? I mean, you're right about a lot of black men were taken advantage, right, by women. And a lot of times when a woman takes advantage of a man, it's never really highlighted the same. It's never really. I had a professor tell me in college, a woman can't rape a man. You know, so that's just a prime example of the shit that be going on, right? Like, picture you calling the police and telling the cops, like, a woman raped you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the police might laugh at you.
Told me you got cigarettes, man. That bitch stupid, man.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right, bro. It's a lot of things that go on. A lot of kids. Lil Wayne said some shit like that, right? That Birdman had a chick, like, give him head when he was like 11 or 12.
Facts. I seen that.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this happens a lot in our community, right? Molestation and amongst men. There's a lot of shit that happen amongst men that, you know, just.
And we don't talk about. We just be aggressive about it.
Yeah. But also, like I said, a lot of black men get their power from doing certain things. So they feel like, well, even though I was underage, they look at it like I accomplished something.
Yup. Because they don't process it in a deeper way, and they feel like just because you got laid, no matter the age, that make you more of a man. And that's some things that I've struggled with. And over the last couple years, I began to process, like, yeah, I slept with a lot of women, but almost none of those situations ended up being a meaningful relationship. I didn't really gain nothing but the box. Is that really my worth as a man? You know what I'm saying? Like you really gotta question yourself. Like, if I die right now, right, and let's just say I smashed 1,000 girls, right? I didn't, by the way, but no, I'm not Wilt Chamberlain. But if I smashed 1,000 girls and then I die tomorrow, I'm gonna be known for smashing 1,000 girls. That's it. I didn't do nothing great. I didn't affect the world in any real type of way. Like, what we doing right now is more important than being known for betting a lot of women and nothing coming from it. You know what I'm saying? Just getting a nut off. Like, you really have to question yourself. Like, is my penis my ultimate worth, or is my mind and what I create with my mind the legacy I leave?
A lot of men feel that way. A lot of men feel like their penis and what they do with it and the size of it and all of that shit is connected to them being a man. So some men feel like, you ever hear dudes arguing in the hood and the first thing they say, I get mad bitches.
All the time. All the
Or
time.
I get more bitches than you. That's like always the top 2 or top 3 things that come out of a man's mouth in an argument in the hood.
And these things mean nothing. And this is because a lot of us have nothing. Therefore, we have low self-esteem. And therefore, you living at a low vibration. So what's the thing that make you the happiest if you ain't got nothing else? And that's the ability to sleep with a woman, unfortunately.
Word.
Unfortunately, man. But alright, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 of the top 10 things black men should be worried about more than the gay agenda is the termination of our black babies. And I said the termination of our black babies and not the AB word because YouTube is sensitive to that word for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the termination of our black babies. And the reason why I say this is because even though we don't have the highest population in America, right? Black women account for 1/3 of all terminations of pregnancies in America annually. And the numbers are something like 15 million a year or something like that. 15 million a year, you know what I'm saying? And it shows me, like, regardless of everything they do to us, all the illnesses that they may or may not be swinging our way, our women continue to be fertile. You know what I'm saying? It's just, they just designed to be that way. But they are being irresponsible with their womb, and us as men, we are encouraging them to be irresponsible with their womb. I know a lot of dudes like to blame women for everything. I feel like, yeah, women need to hold themselves accountable, but men always are at least 1% more accountable, because at the end of the day, they whole thing, even though they don't admit it, their whole thing, everything they do at the core is to attract the man, even if they don't admit it. Even if they don't admit it, you know what I'm saying? Their measuring stick of success, you know what I mean, in their warped way is being just as successful as a man, doing what a man does, but they're hoping in their warped way that it'll get them the best type of man possible. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with the simping niggas is doing, and the tricking, and choosing to deal with women that we don't even care about. This is how women get pregnant, and then they either want to have the baby, but the man wants nothing to do with it, and she don't want to raise it alone. She don't even want nobody to know she pregnant, so she not gonna have the baby and put the baby up for adoption. She's gonna go get rid of it. And men always have a part in this. Even if we don't control, we really don't have no control over who gets born. But at the end of the day, it's our seed. It's our seed that we giving away. And we are participating in what is pretty much willful, direct genocide. How do you feel about that?
So yeah, like at first I was kind of lost when you said with the determination, and then I was like, but yeah,
Planned Parenthood. For those of you who don't understand what we're talking about.
Word. I think that I kind of agree with what you're saying. I think men need to be more responsible, but I think like men need to be more responsible, yes. And at the same time, I think like you said, right, sometimes that decision, it don't matter if you lay down with that woman. I think like that decision ultimately will be on her.
Yes.
You know?
And they choosing to chop it up.
Just like the decision is ultimately on her. And this is why a lot of pressure be on the sisters, right? Because, you know, some sisters try to deflect and blame man and talk about the man and but y'all don't hold him accountable and XYZ. But I'm like, look, even if you held a man whatever accountability, right? What you gonna tell them? Yo, why you ain't strap up? That's basically about it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the women, right, it's like, boom. If he didn't strap up, why did you let him enter you without a condom? That's one. You know what I'm saying? Two, somebody might say, oh, why you not on birth control? Which, that sounds a little crazy to me, but that's also another option. Three, if something happened, there's plan B, right? Four, so it's just, when it comes to, like, other things, it's like, you know, there's also female condoms too, right? So there's a whole bunch, when it comes to, like, the woman prevention methods, it's like so much shit that you could have done. And I'm not trying to sound crazy. I'm not trying to just put it on her, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to telling a man, like, yeah, I could tell a man, like, yo, you should have strapped up, but that's really all I could say to them. Why you didn't put a condom on? Why you doing that? You're not trying to, like, it's still revolving around the condom. You know what I'm saying? Or why did you nut in her? Or, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is, you allow the man, at the end of the day, you have autonomy. Maybe, look, God forbid, if you got sexually assaulted, now that's a different conversation, right? But in a conversation where y'all both chose to lay down, you allow the man to enter you a certain way. You allow, you know, these things to go all of this way. And just the same way that when you do get pregnant, you allow, you decided on your own. Because sometimes a guy might be like, yo, I didn't really want a kid. And some sisters try to, like, summarize it by, like, well, you should never slept with her without a condom. And I'm like, we can't just summarize it to that. The same way it took both of them to lay down together and have unprotected sex, I think it should take both people to have that conversation. And I think if a man tells you, look, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I just, yeah, people do stupid shit all the time, bro, in the heat of passion. So if y'all do something stupid and a man is telling you, I can't do this, I can't go do with this. And I said this in my video. A lot of women have kids because they say they don't believe in that thing. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is like, but can you really take care of this kid? Can you really be there for this kid? And then, you know, usually what happens. So I think that men should be more responsible. I think women should be more responsible too. Because I think, like, the only people that lose is kids, man. Like, people are deciding to have kids, and then these kids grow up neglected. They get into the streets. They get into gangs. They get into prostitution. They get into all type of shit, man, that they should have never been a part of. But a lot of that shit comes from neglect. A lot of shit comes from neglect and poor guidance. And all these parents are really contributing to is more suffering and pain in the hood. So I feel like if you gotta go get rid of that thing, go get rid of that thing. Don't sit out here and be like, I don't believe in this. And you know damn well you're gonna be struggling. You're gonna have to figure it out. And you don't know what, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got no plan, no vision, no nothing. So I'd rather you go do that than you contribute and fuel the streets more and the prison system.
Yo, see, I agree with you. I agree with you from a logical standpoint, and I definitely feel like that's the way they should go about it. Only thing is, I be conflicted from a nature aspect. But then it's like, nature says, hey, if you choose to lay down and you get pregnant, bring that child into the world. But then we got to deal with reality, which is that most parents ain't shit. Or at least one of them ain't shit. And then if that parent that ain't shit is the mother, and we live in a world where the courts prefer the mother have custody of the child, then these kids is fucked. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, this is why I be pro-life, but I be pro-choice as well. You know what I'm saying? Just so the worst women could not ruin any kids' lives or any more kids' lives. But
yeah,
we gonna move on to number 5. Number 5, top 10 things black men should be worried about. The lack of control and responsible management of the black dollar. This goes without saying. A lot of our people are broke, but when you say broke, it's like, yeah, but it's almost like collectively our people are broke by choice. The ones who are broke, being because we're not taught proper money management. And it's a curse. It's a plague in our communities. Unfortunately, a lot of our parents didn't know the proper way to manage money. Ownership was not a thing that was spoken about in my household growing up. Ownership was not a thing. Ownership is not a thing that's taught in schools. Ownership is not a thing that's taught in more poorer communities. And people who have less, they look for self-gratification in things. And most of the time it's frivolous things. Like, as a 30-year-old man, and I think about how much our people care about Jordans and how much our people spend our money on things to where if enough of us put our bread together, we could have our own warehouse and make a lot of these simple things for ourselves the way we used to, and like Black Wall Street and the other places that they don't name because they act like Black Wall Street was the only kind of place like that before they bombed it all. And it's just bad for us. Every other community keeps their own dollar in their community way longer than we do. We talking about days, weeks. And in the Black community, hours only. And this is the problem that ties into everything else. You know what I'm saying? Poor people who don't know things, they have children and they teach their children nothing, unfortunately, and it's just a revolving door. Perpetual ignorance. And we're lucky enough to have the internet where we able to look for the information that they not teaching us in school and that unfortunately we were not taught in our households. What say you, brother?
Yeah, man, I agree. I think, Dr. Umar talks about things like this all the time. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about these things. There's a few people, Dr. Watkins, there's a few brothers that be talking about the black dollar, right? And how, so funny, I just reposted one of the posts that I made a few months back, like in the summertime. And I said, like I'm tired of hearing, about like, we don't have healthy food options in the hood, right? But we also don't have designer stores in the hood, yet we travel to go get that stuff.
Big facts.
We travel outside of our communities to go in our community. But when it comes to, when white people move to the hood and there's no good supermarkets in their hood, when they gentrify like hood neighborhoods, they still go to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, even if they got to get on the train.
Yup, that's a fact. You in the city, you seeing them. They on the train with they Trader Joe's bags and they Whole Foods bags, so they on the bus with it.
You know what I'm saying? They don't care. They don't care if that shit is 20 miles away. They're not gonna shop in the local supermarket for certain things, for most things. So, usually this is why when gentrifiers move into the hood, the regular supermarkets, they dry up because they don't spend their money there. You know what I'm saying? So local stores, they start to dry up because white people are not going to just buy certain shit from you. They're not going to just, you know what I'm saying? And some people look at it like, oh, it's because we black. And a lot of times it's not really that. Sometimes it's just they know the quality of the food and the shit that you selling.
Yup. Because they actually read the back of a lot of these products and we don't.
You know what I'm saying? So they informed, because they get raised like that, right? So as much as we make fun of them, or they don't season their food and X, Y, Z, like, we leading in high blood pressure. Like, it's all fun and games. It's all jokes, right? When you be like, oh, that bland ass food, ha 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 ha. We leading them blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, like all this shit. And to tie it to the money, because I don't want to go away from the money question. I mean, from the, it's all of this is kind of like together, right? So, money, same thing, right? Bro, people be out here chasing. We the biggest consumers in the country. The biggest consumers. And we don't really own much, bro. We don't own shit, bro. How we the biggest consumers and we don't own shit? You know what I'm saying? So, because you know what? It's a capitalistic society. And because we don't own property, we don't own assets a lot of times, we buy liabilities to make it look like we are worth something. Because, you know, that's basically what it is about, right? When you live in a capitalist society, it's about what you have, what you own. So when we don't own stocks and we don't own like a home or we don't own cars and we don't own certain things, what's the next best thing? We buy liabilities. So this is why we chase the Jordans, which is a liability. The moment you buy a pair of sneakers the moment you buy a pair of sneakers, it already loses value. So we buy Jordans, we chase the latest iPhone. You know what I'm saying? We buy jewelry. Jewelry, you can always sell back. Not for the same shit, but like, you know, it's still, everything we buy is to try to act like we're rich. You know, there's a saying, the poor people act like they're rich and the rich people act like they're poor. You know what I'm saying? So I agree, bro. Like, our money, we don't keep our money in the hood. And I say this, every other group does it. You know what I'm saying? I seen Jamaicans do it. You know, they set up their little businesses. They set up shop. The Haitians do it. Like, let's not talk about the Chinese people, because they got a Chinatown in every city in the United States. So yeah, man, I think we have to start. I think a lot of times we don't know which way to go. I think that's what it is. And also the fake leaders that we be having, they don't really be having our best interests. They just be, you know, bamboozling us and stealing our bread. You feel me? So I think it's a lot of distrust, and we don't know which way to go. Like, so when you got distrust and you can't trust somebody with an idea, or we're putting our money together, and then it's because when we put our money together, it's gonna be like, who gonna hold the money? You know what I'm saying? So, and all of that shit goes back to distrust and not really knowing which way to go.
Facts.
Kiki Benny.
Okay, so let's move on to number 6. Number 6, the undercover agents who destroy our positive movements from the inside. On the top 10 things black men should be worried about. Now, we all know every time there's a major movement that gets the most media publicity, that by face is led by our own people, there's either somebody who looks like us, who is infiltrating because they work for the enemy, or the enemy funded that movement. And this always happens. And this is why real change does not get made. This is why things get halted. This is why the right people end up dead at the right time. Because we being infiltrated. We don't understand the mind of your opposer, who does everything in their power to learn you and know your movements so they can defeat you. We are blind to our enemies. We are blind of our enemies. What are your thoughts?
Hold on, okay, I'm over here munching, man. Nah, but I think that you're right. You're absolutely right. I mentioned this in one of my videos. I said that the white man has studied us for a long time, and we don't know anything about the white man. We only know what we see. We only see like what we experience. But we don't study the white man beyond here. Like, we don't study how Europe was before they left Europe. We don't study when what year they first started to leave Europe. We don't know. A lot of us is bad with history. So, and the only history we do know, or that we talk about, is when we got here, we started off as slaves. And I tell you, the world is much more bigger than the creation of America.
We only know what they tell us. We only know what they tell us, man. And then the way they speak about slavery, you know, some would say that it didn't even happen exactly the way that they say it in the books.
Yeah. I started to look into that recently, but I don't want to get to that whole conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story, though.
Yeah. So I think that, we don't study, bro. You know, part of the art of war speaks about that, right? You have to know your enemy. You know, because people get into this whole fighting against the white supremacists and all of this bullshit, right? And I'm like, you don't even know when white supremacy started. I ask people, tell me when white supremacy started. And they can't tell me, bro. They can't tell me when it started. Tell me when racism started. They can't tell you, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you ask them, when did the enemy start? You gotta have knowledge of the enemy. You think the white man didn't have knowledge? You think before they went and launched their conquest of Africa, you think they didn't have knowledge of the people they was going in to go battle with?
Facts.
Come on. Why do you think Ethiopia was never really colonized? Because the Ethiopians was already hearing about all the shit that was going on. And what they did was that, we're gonna get some guns too. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get some guns and we ain't gonna trust these motherfuckers like that.
They got with the times.
Yeah, so a lot of other African nations, they feel like the gun was a coward's weapon. And it cost them. You know what I'm saying? All that tough Tony shit, or is a coward's weapon, it cost them. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I still think guns is some coward shit, but can they kill your ass? Can a coward kill you? Hell yeah. And he don't got to get close to you.
Word.
So the point is, we don't study our enemy. And I gotta, what's crazy? Some of my earlier videos, I was on some very heavily pro-black stuff, and I was talking about capitalism, and I was talking about solutions for black people. A lot of my earlier videos, I was really talking about tackling a lot of this stuff. So I talked about when the Europeans left Europe, and because I studied this shit, I studied what was their conditions in Europe, or like what was going on in Europe. Europe had mad wars against each other.
Yup.
Like, all them countries been popping off, banging on each other for centuries. So, yeah, but people don't know that. And when people don't know that, you don't know your enemy. You only know a little bit of history here in the Americas. And there's a whole bunch of other shit that paved the way to what happened in America. So I think you're right. It's important for us to know that in order for us to actually come back like the people that we're trying to combat.
Exactly. Now, moving on to number 7, we briefly touched on this in regards to the black dollar and food and things like that. So let's focus on it. Number 7, our poor diets and high obesity levels. Now, my opinion with this is that we got a movement, and it's called body positivity. And I feel like it's an emotional movement, and it's not a logical, realistic movement, and it's doing more harm than good to our people, especially our women. Because you see, men, from as young as a kid, your weight will earn you a nickname, but your nickname will be a term of endearment based off your weight. Or you're being called fat ass as a young kid, but you still develop a swagger about yourself, a charisma about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You are people being honest with you when you're a man. growing up. They telling you, yo, listen, you're fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, your friend will tell you, like, yo, you getting fat, bro. Like, you need to get in the gym. And men will either do something about it. Most men either do something about it, or they'll just embrace who they are. But this whole body positivity movement is like really just a ploy to sell big women products. You know what I'm saying? I be feeling like, or just another thing to have them upset with us about, because in all due reality, women don't want to be fat. Women don't want to be big. Now, if they just too lazy to portion their food out the right way, or go out for a walk and jog and work out and eat the right way, if they choose to not want to get themselves back in shape after they have kids, that's cool. That's their prerogative. But when we pretend and make women lie to themselves, and they know they're lying to themselves, like they don't care about losing weight, and they're comfortable being very, very big, knowing that naturally, men are more attractive to smaller women, not the skinny women. You know what I mean? Most of us draw the line at thick. Most of us draw the line at a couple extra pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real.
Yo, what's a couple, man? You know, you gotta do
a couple. A couple is like, if you not curvy, if you more round than curvy, if for real, your stomach stick out more than your breasts.
Use a celebrity as reference.
All right, look. My thing is this. Let's see.
If you like Jill Scott.
See, she was bigger and she lost weight. She was bigger and she lost weight. And see, me, I'm not against, you know what I'm saying, BBWs. I just feel like they got to be proportioned the right way. I don't want you to be round like a potato. If women have a problem with men not wanting potato-shaped women, then it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we thinking about how you gonna feed our kids, how you gonna raise up our kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Nobody want their kids growing up, you know what I'm saying, being made fun of for being fat, especially if we have daughters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, you know what's crazy? I say that shit about weave. I be like, I can't mess with a woman who can't take care of her hair. So I feel like it's a similar sentiment, because I feel like if we have a daughter and you can't take care of your hair, you most likely not gonna be able to take care of her hair.
Exactly, and then she won't know how to take care of her own hair.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that ties in to the issues we have with women. But on the obesity side, you know what I'm saying, most of us are overweight, you know what I'm saying? People view me, you know, like I'm 5'11". I'm like in between 208 and 215 at times. And I got some weight on me. My stomach stick out a little bit. I'm not viewed as overweight, but if you look up body mass index in the books, they would say I'm 20 pounds overweight. Now, I don't feel like that, but when I look at my stomach and I'm like, I can see the little indents, there's a six-pack under here if I really stop playing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, let's be real. Nobody wants to be obese. It's about the lack of discipline that we have. And these are some of the most important things we need to be concerned with. And then it's like this. Black people, we have poster childs for body positivity. Other races do not. Like, we have Lizzo, and first of all, I fuck Lizzo. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm saying it's like this. She in the industry, just like all the other big girls like Adele or Angie Stone or whatever, they celebrate being big or they don't speak on it. They drop a couple albums and then they revamp themselves and you find out they lost 50 to 100 pounds. Monique did it, all of them. So it's like Lizzo is encouraging all this body positivity stuff, right? But in all due reality, I'm going to say in 2-3 years max, she going to pop up with a new album and she going to have slimmed down considerably like Adele did. And by the way, you see Adele looking like a snack on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like Adele looking nice. You feel me? Like, and I feel like we got to stop lying to ourselves. Like, we got to call it out for what it is. Unfortunately, right now, we're the most unhealthy people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And a part of that is we don't understand that we're slightly biologically different than all other races. Asian people eat whatever they want. They stay how they are. I feel like white people, their bodies can handle probably red meat and pork better. And our people, realistically, we wasn't meant to eat none of that shit like that. None of it. And we eating for satisfaction. We eating for flavor. And all of us are guilty of this. You know what I'm saying? Instead of eating for health. Health, you know what I'm saying? Including not drinking enough water.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I've never seen one of the modern day pigs in Africa.
Yeah, because from the research I've done, those were genetically modified animals and they were created by the white man, and they contain a lot of illnesses in them, so they could compare them with their own bodies and try to like solve illnesses and stuff like that. From what I read, you know what I'm saying, like How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad speaks on that.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So it's like none of these things are really natural. Like the chicken, where did chicken really come from? You know what I'm saying? Like the rat, where did rat really come from? You know what I'm saying? Like you could say Europe. It don't mean that they have labs over there. But like where these animals really come from, these animals are not really natural. Like nature didn't really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the creator didn't really make pigs or like rabbits.
I mean, but the pig is like it's kind of like in the family of the hog. So like the hog, the boar's hog, and all that shit. So I don't know. But yeah, you know they be playing with shit. I don't know, bro.
It's a lot of experimentation and all that going on. Like and that's what make it even more unhealthy because it's experimented on and it's really not like of nature. Like originally of nature. Like they be like, it's like how you get a dog from a wolf. Like a dog is a watered down pussy version of a wolf.
Yeah, like a cat.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? It's like that took breeding. That took, you know what I'm saying, selection, selective breeding and, you know, weeding out traits that you don't want, you know, to make these animals more submissive and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Domestication and all that shit.
Exactly, you know, another form of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like the enemy just love enslaving like people and things. Like I just don't get it. Nobody could be free under the enemy's jurisdiction. Like I don't.
But yeah, I agree with the whole body positivity thing. I made a post about that and I said we need to stop. I said, how about we encourage more people to eat healthier and go to the gym instead of saying don't body shame people, don't call nobody fat, right? And like you said, right, I just think women are more sensitive to women have more of an issue with their bodies than men do, right? I feel like when it comes to the bodies, like the only shit a man might have a problem with is like probably his penis size. You know what I'm saying? Other than that motherfucker don't care how his body looks. Like, and that's not everybody. On the average, I'm saying, you know. But women, like, if her feet too big, she got a problem, right? Like if her hands too big, like if her boobs don't look right, if she ain't got no ass.
Half this stuff we don't even be noticing or be caring about.
Yeah, some of the shit we don't, but I get it. Also, society's also a little harder and a little more judgmental on women's bodies. So I get where a lot of those things come from. So this is why they, but I just think when it comes to accepting truth, like a woman might ask you, how do I look? And if you tell her, like, I ain't gonna lie, you looking a little sloppy in that dress, she gonna feel some type of way.
They don't like, it's like they don't like honesty, man. I don't get it.
You know what I'm saying? Even though you just asked me how I look, it's like, why did you ask me that? But the point I'm trying to make is that, they take it more to the heart, because I feel like since birth, like, girls are always sexualized and they're always looked at in a certain way. So when they get older, they already probably been through a whole lot of people just commenting on their body parts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For no reason.
Especially they moms, which we don't talk about enough. They moms be getting in their heads real early.
Yeah, so I think that's where that comes from. Like always hearing shit about your body. And so they obviously have some trauma there. But trauma, not to sound unsensitive, but like that's part of your work. You gotta do your work. Like you can't use your trauma so people could tiptoe around you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you gotta recognize you have a problem, and this is why you have a problem, because in your childhood, people talk shit about your body or whatever, and you gotta deal with that, and you gotta work on that. But at the same time, you should not excuse that to stop you from not being healthy. But like you said, man, like we always have eaten. Look, since slavery, we have eaten the worst parts of the animal.
Yeah.
That's why people still eat pig feet, chitlins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All type of crazy intestines of other animals. Like people eat chicken feet. People eat all the shit that the white man didn't want to eat, right? And because that shit was so nasty, what they used to do was they used to add way more seasoning to it. They used to put way more salt in it so that it could at least taste like something. So today, this is why we still consume a lot of oil, trans fats and all of that. We still consume large amounts of salt, sugar, right? Because these are the condiments that we use, bro, because we wanted to make the food taste like something. So, Dr. Joy DeGroy speaks about this on post-traumatic slave syndrome. She said a lot of times the things that we use to survive, or the things that we did to survive, have become adaptive behavior that is harmful to us today, because we no longer need those things, but now it's like habit. You know what I'm saying? It's part of like our genetics now.
Yeah.
So that shit is harmless. Yeah, we definitely gotta do better, but a lot of people don't. People don't eat what they gonna eat, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you only can help those who want to be helped.
Pretty much, man. Word. Alright, number 8. Our women don't respect us because we don't stand together for anything. What are your thoughts, my brother?
I think they more so don't respect us because of money. I don't think it's about because we don't stand together. I think it's because of money. I think
Okay, when you say money, do you mean just money or more stability?
Yeah, I think when a man, I think even if a man has a job and he makes a certain amount of money, I think most women, especially nowadays, they want a certain lifestyle, right? This is why a lot of our sisters, and they don't like hearing this. I watch a interview, and this woman was asking women she said to rate your top 3, right, between a scammer, a drug dealer, and a 9-to-5 dude.
I seen that.
Kiki Benny.
All the black dudes, they said they wanted a drug dealer. I mean, all the black girls said they wanted a drug dealer or a scammer first, and 9-to-5 last.
Yeah, but that's a particular demographic of women. Unfortunately, it is a lot of women, but it's not all women. And I would consider those women to come from low class households, low value like households, and be mentally ill. I immediately consider those women to be mentally ill.
I didn't say all women. I said there was an interview.
Yes.
So in the interview, all the black women said they wanted a drug dealer and a 9-to-5. This is how they conduct surveys, right? Surveys is never all. It's never the whole population. Yes. When they say 50% of the black population is locked up, that's not the whole black population. Yeah. That's based on survey, right? That's based on a sample testing. So it's the same thing in this case. It's a sample testing of maybe they did an interview with 10 women, and out of and 8 of those 10 women, no, actually not even 8, because all the ones that said this, they were black. But anyway, the only people that said they wanted a 9-to-5 dude was the white women. You know what I'm saying?
Values are different.
Again, mindset, right? Like mindset. And you know, black people get mad when you tell them this shit. This is the thing. You can't get mad at me. This is some random shit I seen of an interviewer. Alright, maybe the interviewer did some funny shit, edited the video so they didn't show black people. That could be possible, right? Because people be playing with the videos and shit. But my whole point is this. A lot of times our sisters want a certain lifestyle, or they believe they deserve a certain lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times a certain lifestyle, a 9-to-5 dude can't really give you it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times a 9-to-5 dude can't give you. You always want to go. You always want to get this. You want to get a new bag. You want to get.
Cause they live in a facade. For real.
Exactly. So because of that, a lot. So a lot of times you hear it all the time, bro. You could be working, bro, and the chick will call you a bum ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? How many dudes is working and they still get called bum ass nigga, bro? Cause you dress a certain way, cause you don't got the drip, you don't got the latest drip, or because you're not riding in a certain car, or because you don't wear the, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
And I consider that mental illness. Mental illness.
That's what I'm saying.
A total lack of awareness to a reality, like, come on.
This is what it is, bro. And then these sisters complain, right? So they go get with the drug dealer. He eventually catches a bid. They ain't dead. They go get with the scammer. The scammer don't really want to be with you. He gonna get you something to smash or whatever, but he not really trying to invest in you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these girls be chasing these dudes because there's not a lot of them. It's not a lot of them. So that's why a lot of these sisters be competing for the dudes with the money.
And they waste their best years doing it too. They finest years. They waste their whole 20s, and then we all know what they do. Once they start having kids or they start getting 30 and they can't get the same type of dudes no more, then they want the 9-to-5 dude again.
Yeah.
They like, now you gotta marry me. I'm saving myself for marriage.
Yeah, bro. So that's what it is. They don't respect. If you don't make a certain amount of money, again, I've been with some women who don't think like that, right? But oftentimes the girls in our communities is how they think, bro. Or you're a bum ass nigga. Like, if you don't let your woman make more money than you, and you're gonna see how she feel, bro. And this is our problem in the black community. So I think that's why they don't respect us, because they feel like if you don't make more money than me, then you can't lead me. And I think that's all related to the independent woman movement and feminism.
It's because I feel like it's because they have the luxury, right? The luxury of not having to depend on us, because men have made it that way. But I always say, if an asteroid hit this planet and it knock all the electricity out, and life as we know it changes, and we get back to somewhat like the Stone Age, women will have a hard, rude awakening when they really realize that the money system you depending on doesn't count anymore. Now you really gotta find a man to protect you, or you will get kidnapped. You'll get kidnapped and taken somewhere you don't want to be, and some bad things is gonna happen to you. They have a luxury that we gave them. So it's like we say, man, like, at some point, men gotta hold themselves accountable, man. It's like we love women so much that we encourage them to be assholes. We made their lives, you know what I'm saying?
I think our sisters just been drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. They've been drinking the feminism Kool-Aid a little too much. These same women who preach feminism, these same white women who beat them in the head about feminism.
They all be ugly too. Remember we was talking about that? They all be ugly and washed. Almost all of them.
Yeah, but they go home to their husbands at the end of the day.
Not all of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Not all of them got a man who can keep a man.
Listen, most of them white women who push this feminism shit, they go home to their husband.
Yeah. Cause it's just to get a bag. It's just to get a bag.
It's just like Beyonce. Beyonce made the song "Sing All the Single Ladies," and then she went home to her husband.
Yup.
Like so our women be drinking the Kool-Aid from these sisters, right? These the same girls that be on the internet talking shit about niggas ain't shit and fuck these niggas and all of this, bro. They under some nigga nutsack while they typing that shit.
Right now, like all the female rappers that be talking like that, they all got a man. Some of them married and all of that.
Bro, that's my whole point. So because the people in our communities follow these entertainers, bro, they follow them so much, bro. They watch everything they do. They talk about their goals, they this. I'm like, yo, they was talking about Lil Durk in India the other day. I'm like, yo, you think India don't get cheated on? Every other day, Lil Durk talking on the song how he was with some hoes and they was doing this and they was doing that. You think he just talking about? I'm like, yo, these women already have accepted that, yo, my husband or my boyfriend is an artist, and girls gonna hold at him, but he don't love him. As long as he love me at the end of the day, or I'm the one that's here, they cool with it. They have an arrangement, an agreement. But because these people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, they be talking about goals and that's what they want and X, Y, Z. So I'm like, oh, whatever.
Mental illness, man. When you lying to yourself, you can't look yourself in the mirror and tell the truth. It's mental illness, man. But alright, we down to the last two of the top 10 things men should be worried about more than the gay agenda. Number 9, the poor education taught to our children in the public school system. Now, I remember I seen the meme not too long ago and they showed the inside of a school next to the inside of a jail. And the walls, the inside of both institutions looked exactly the same, in my opinion. The poor education taught to our children in the public school system, I'm going to say it like this, man. My sons are in public school right now. They don't even get homework every day like we used to back in the day. They don't even get homework every day. I was in the city last month going over the homework with my cousin's daughter. And this is an intelligent girl, high vocabulary. I'm talking to her. I'm trying to go over this work with her. I'm like, they didn't teach y'all this earlier today in school? She like, no. I'm like, you sure? She like, no. She like, yeah, they didn't teach us. I'm like, so why are they giving y'all this to do? I'm like, yo, what are these teachers doing? I understand we had the pandemic and all of that, but then I gotta think that, you know what? We do live in a country where the most important things you need to know is hidden from you. And they really get paid chump change based on the standards of living in their state to really teach a bunch of bad kids in the inner city, kids who their parents don't raise them with respect, most of them. Parent-teacher conferences, they gotta deal with disrespectful parents, most of the time mothers, most of the time single mothers. Hey man, don't kill the messenger. It is what it is. We've all seen it. We all know what's going on. And I just feel like at this point, they really just don't care, and they not giving an incentive to care. And really, it's a by the book situation, and it's rare. It's like kids might have that one teacher their whole life who really care about them and really show them that they care about their future. But for the most part, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They just here to sit down for a couple hours, go by the book, say whatever they supposed to say for a couple hours a day, and then they go about their business. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, bro. I think the school system is designed to do it. Like, all these systems are designed to do their job. And this is, again, right? Most people are suffering from a mental psychosis, right? Meaning that a psychosis is a mental disorder that affects how you perceive reality, right? So we be sitting here thinking, oh yeah, school is supposed to do this. The police is supposed to do this. The politicians are supposed to do this, right? Because we are believing in whatever is in writing and not what we have been seeing for decades, maybe centuries, right? So the school curriculum was changed in the 80s. It was changed predominantly because a lot of people that were going to school and college, they were becoming revolutionaries. Because that's what the curriculum was doing to them, right? It was really, the curriculum was producing a lot of people that were conscious, that were critically thinkers. And this is in a higher level of education, right? But they changed the whole curriculum after that, right? So now the curriculum is a little more, less critical thinking, more docile, and more like to domesticate you, right? Almost like the Bible. I don't want to go away. But when the New Testament came and King James burned all the Bibles and he established the King James Version that made the slaves more submissive, it's kind of like the same thing. They changed the curriculum. So now the curriculum, then they also, when Bush came, he signed that thing, No Child Left Behind. They thought they was, well, not that they thought, people thought that they were doing something good when they signed this. But all they really did was they skipped everybody. It don't matter if you failed, if you didn't do your homework, everybody got skipped.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, when I was in high school, bro, I made it to the 12th grade. I ain't really do shit, bro. I wasn't going to graduate. And then once you get to the 12th grade, now they start saying like, oh, we're going to send you to an alternative school to get your GED. This is exactly what they was doing, bro. No Child Left Behind was just skipping people.
Yeah.
No matter what your grades was. And people thought it was some good shit, but this is really what the result was. Nobody was learning. Everybody got skipped. Everybody got pushed out of school. And 9 times out of 10, you don't really know nothing, so you're going to go get a GED. You even if you take the college exam, you might not even get in. You know, it just sets you up for a life of second-class citizenship.
Yeah, and just working for somebody in some office or some factory somewhere. It don't encourage you to really think for yourself and be a boss. You know what I'm saying? They just institutionalize you to sit down.
But the people, it's bigger than that. That's when you make it to the college level. But the people that just got skipped in the hood, they don't even make it to college, bro. They don't even make it to college. Because 9 times out of 10, alright, you had a behavior issue, you was in special ed, you got skipped, you don't really know much. Those people, you'll be lucky if you make it to working at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? In some of those places. Because usually the streets get them. The streets gonna get you. The streets gonna get you before, you know what I'm saying, you figure some shit out. Now, the other people that do make it to college and probably graduate from high school, those are the people that, you know, they train you for the office. But at the end of the day, they train all of us, right? So when they skipping us, so like, you're right. But that's the other part to it, right? That's the people that go to college. They train those people like, all right, just go work for somebody, go work in the office. But that's how they change the whole curriculum. So they skip us throughout elementary, middle school, high school. And then by the time we end up at high school, we dumb as hell, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, And then like the ones that do make it to college and you know what I'm saying, you know, they train us. You're gonna go work in somebody's office. Don't be creative. Like, you know, they just train us to be workers, bro, not bosses and not people, not entrepreneurs and stuff like that.
Yup. It's like raising cattle, man.
Yeah.
Like raising cattle, man. Poor education, man. Poor education. And this is gonna bring us into number 10, which is also easily one of the most important on the top 10 things black men should be worried about more than the gay agenda, which is the misunderstanding of what true black masculinity is, could be, and should be, and a lack of knowledge of self. I'm gonna let you set it off.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think for a long time, I mean, I'm Muslim, you know, so yes, I have my beliefs. I do believe homosexuality is a sin. I have my beliefs. Like, I'm not over here rallying people to go kill them, right? That's not really my point or my position. But I'm also not uncomfortable around gay people. Yep. I know men. I have gay friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? And we had these conversations. And one thing I realized is that non-gay people be trying to go way more harder than actual gay people when it comes to these type of conversations, right? Yep. Because I have had some of my gay friends ask me about what are my beliefs because they know I'm Muslim, and we have seriously sat down and had good conversations, and I expressed the same thing I just told you. I have expressed it to them, and they respect it. They be like, I get it, and we still mad cool, and nobody gonna violate none of my friends around me.
And straight men should be free to do that. And even if you gay or not, there should be a common respect and understanding. And if there's room for a respectable friendship, there should be room for that too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and nobody gonna like come and violate my friends.
Exactly.
You got a problem.
You my mans, you my mans.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So another thing is that I realized is like, yo, growing up in the hood, there was gay dudes that was in the hood that was respected. So when people try to push this narrative that like gay people in the hood be having like the biggest problems, and I'm like, that's not true. Like, I seen mad gay dudes in the hood that was beating dudes up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people didn't even mess with them because they didn't want to get beat up by a gay dude.
Yeah, because they grow up fighting their whole life anyway.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes didn't want to even fight gay dudes because they was like, yo, it's a lose-lose. If you beat them up, you don't get no points. And if you lost, you lose all your respect.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yes, you're right. I think I got friends right now, right today, where I might go somewhere. Like I was telling my man, I went to like this restaurant the other day to eat. It's like a restaurant lounge, and I was like, oh, and it was a trans person there, and my man was like, oh, nah, I would have left. So I'm just like, yo, bro, like
that's
that
dumb.
Don't got nothing to do with me.
Why do they bother you so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that because I got a significant amount of gay men and women in my family. Even one of them, he does the cross-dressing thing, but you know, he don't reveal that to the family. But I got an older cousin that used to do the cross-dressing thing, and you won't even know he gay unless he tell you, because now he dress all conservative, you know what I mean? Tie, shirt, khakis. I got a gay cousin. I always knew he was a little feminine growing up. He used to spend the night in my house and all that. He came out when he got older. The family accepts it. And these is people who I'll kill for and die for, preferably kill for. And I'm like, you know, they still are brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, things happen to them. They faced perversions when they was young. And if they'll admit it, that contributed to whatever thoughts that may have led them to be who they are. But right now, they are who they are. You know what I'm saying? And if long as they not like imposing themselves on kids, You know what I'm saying? It's like, let them live their life. You know, I don't care. What, I'll shake their hand in a business meeting. I don't care. I'm not gonna eat in a restaurant because you're gay, because you're trans. I don't care. Nobody also say that gay dudes, they be having the chicks with them. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? If you could show the chicks that you not like funny around their gay friend, you mess around and get some box even quicker, man. Like, you know, like it's pros and cons that come with it. But at the end of the day, if you know yourself as a man, you're not gonna falter just because a different version of a man comes around you.
It's just about being confident in your sexuality, bro. I had gay dudes hit on me, bro. I didn't have to get violent and punch somebody in the face or do some crazy shit. I just felt like, yo, bro, I don't get down like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All it takes is one conversation.
But I know dudes, if a gay dude was to be like, trying to talk to him or some shit, like, they're gonna make a scene. They're gonna, like, you know what I'm saying? And I just be like, yo, I don't have to do that, bro. I know I could have punched somebody in the face, but why am I doing that? Like, why do I feel violated because this dude?
You don't have to react violently towards somebody who was not being violent with you. And here's the thing, most of the time,
I don't even have to feel violated. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is like, why do you feel violated? Imagine if every time you approach a woman to talk to her, she felt violated. Like,
or everybody would be in jail.
Right? Like,
everybody would be in jail.
Imagine if every time you approach a woman, look, dudes already feel some type of way when they approach a woman and she responds violently. And she be like, fuck is you talking? Why are you talking to me? Nobody asked you. You know what I'm saying? We already feel some type of way when a woman responds like that when you try to talk to her. So why are you getting like that? Why are you getting so aggy? Why are you getting so mad? Why are you so shaken by this dude? One thing I will say is this. A lot of people be trying to say that straight men do not be trying to hit, that gay men do not be trying to hit on straight men, and that's not true.
That's not true. I know girls who are cool with gay men, and the gay men tell them that they more attractive to straight masculine men, and they be wanting to turn them out.
Yep. So that's one thing I don't agree. I think people be trying to make it seem like, oh, that guys just have this fear that is like like, you know what I'm saying, that's unrealistic, that gay guys don't be trying to hit on them, and that's not true. I can tell you personally, I don't know what make these people think like I know I don't come off as gay, but I think in the back of their mind they just I'm friendly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't act so aggressive towards them, so they feel like maybe in their mind they feel like maybe I got a shot. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, bro. I just know I don't need to be aggressive. I don't need to exemplify some type of over masculine shit to make you. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta do that. I can just be like, nah, bro. Like, that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's it.
All it takes is one conversation, for real. That's all it takes, man. Like, I had a job. My last job I had down here, it was a gay dude. He was younger though. You know what I'm saying? And he like touched my shoulder like twice. You know what I'm saying? And we had like this app at the job where you could
try, Big Nate.
Where he definitely did. And that's because he got too comfortable, but he's like watching me like interacting with the girls. He was friends with all the girls, and you know, like he just been around when I'm interacting with the girls.
He thought he was one of the girls.
A couple times. He thought
he was one of the girls.
He tapped my shoulder twice, one shift, right? That night, I text him directly. I'm like, yo, bro, listen. I'm not one of those dudes that's gonna lash out and like try to violate. But if you have any intentions on being friends with a straight man, you gotta understand that there's boundaries. Now, you tapped my shoulder twice. You crossed the line. You crossed the line.
What? He tapped it. He tapped it or he like rubbed it?
Come on, rub. Come on now. I done went to jail. Come on now.
Yeah.
Rubbing my shoulder now. Come on now. It was a tap like the boss called me or some shit, and I didn't hear.
Why you would have went to jail though? See, this is what we talking about. We talking about that aggressive.
I was thinking ratchet, but he didn't cross that line, cause it's only because you. Come on now, like you know I'm a straight man. Don't rub on my shoulder. Now you trying to play me now, like I'm on the down low. That's what would have had me violate, but he didn't do that. He tapped, you know, like with the 2 fingers, tap tap. Like that. Okay. But he did it twice. And my thing is this. My mans don't even touch my shoulder, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight dudes. And I knew, like, you know what I'm saying? Because one of the girls was like, yo, man, he like you, and started, like, trying to play with me. I'm like, yo, listen. I'm a felon. Y'all gotta relax. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta relax, B. But then I told him, that later that day, I'm like, yo, if you have any intentions on being cool with a straight man, like as a real friend, you gotta understand there's boundaries. But in my head, I told myself, like, if he escalate and touch me again, I'm going off on him. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going off on you. You done already told the girls you like me. The girls is like trying to joke with me about it. All y'all blowing minds.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
Then I smashed 2 of the girls at the job. So for all I know, they could have been showing them my beef pics and all of that. I'm like, yo.
That's the thing, because girls be looking at these dudes like they one of the girls, bro.
And they treat them like that.
Yeah, so they be, they be, yeah, but you right, bro. That's it, bro.
So I told them, I'm like, yo, listen, long as you don't touch me again, we can be friends. It's all good, you know what I'm saying? And by friends, I definitely meant work. At work. We cool, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So he left me on scene, right? But he never ever touched me again. And we was cool at the job. From that point on until I quit. We was cool after that. We was cool. I told him. But in my head, I'm like, yo, if he escalate, I'ma knock him out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'ma deck him.
This gay dude, one of my gay friends in school, yo, he tried to try me too. The funny thing is, he used to throw around little shady shit, right? And he used to, he said some shit one day, and we was in school, and he was like, he said, yeah, niggas be frontin', B. He said, niggas be out here frontin' like, you know what I'm saying? Like they sell motto and shit. Niggas be in my inbox. So I was like, so now when he said that, I'm thinking he talking about somebody in the room, cause this is part of a club. You feel me? Like it was a school club. So I'm looking around. So now when he said that in there, I'm like, is he talking about somebody in here? So now you trying to like figure out who you think is the motherfucker that's in the inbox talking freaky shit. But it was just some gossip bullshit in school. But after a while, like we used to talk in school and shit, and he used to comment on some of my content and stuff. And then one day, bro, the dude called me on video, bro. So I'm like, why this dude call me on video? But I picked up because, again, I'm not trying to be this. I wanted to see like what the hell he wanted, like what you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to assume because you're gay, you call me on video that you on some bad time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I pick up just to make sure before I nip it in the butt what's going on. So he calls me, because mind you, this is my friend, bro. We see each other all the time. We talk about some whole other shit, like black shit, like, you know what I'm saying? We do what we do. Plus in school, I was the president of the Black Student Union. So, I gotta conduct myself in a certain way. So, yeah, bro, this dude called me on video. And this motherfucker was like, laid up in the bed type shit with the covers on. I'm looking like,
oh.
I'm like, nah, he tried it, you heard?
And this is why more straight men gotta calm down and relax around gay dudes and have a little bit more dialogue, because they're still boys. So just like boys, girls might be a little bit nice but have no intentions on dealing with a guy at all, and a guy will think a girl like him. So this is why we gotta have more dialogue with them and let them know, like, yo, listen, I'm treating you as a human being, but I don't want you. So don't cross the line. This is exactly why.
I feel like in the same token, girls should do that too. Like, they should let dudes know straight up, because that will stop a guy. Well, it will stop most guys.
Yeah, but you know, they won't if there's something for them to gain. Like, we know that. They won't.
Yeah, but when things is not clear, a lot of times guys that stay in the friend zone, it's because the girls are never really fully clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they really got a clear, like, idea, like, bro, I don't want you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But because they don't come off like that, right? They never really say that. It just be like a little nice. You know, they give you nice little hugs or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, little shit. But I feel like if women were more direct, because women are not, they don't live in the black and white. They like to be in the fluid zone, because they don't want to hurt feelings and you know.
And they don't be wanting to reveal their true intentions sometimes.
Yeah, because they want the benefits. They want the benefits of, you like me, but I don't like you, so you're going to take me on dates or you're going to do certain things for me because you like me. And some of them know that because you like me, I'm going to get some perks out of the situation. So that's it too. So I think if sisters was also straight up, in the same example that you made with straight guys and gay dudes, then, you know, we could avoid a lot of shit. But, you know, there's a lot of nut motherfuckers out there too. But yeah, that's my input.
Yeah, man. So, you know, but to round this off, these were the top 10 things black men should worry about more than the gay agenda. Now, see, this tangent that we went off on the end, where we talked about where the gay dudes tried us,
yeah.
This might be a separate video on its own, because this is hilarious. This is hilarious, but I want to put emphasis on that, because we don't need no straight dudes out here wailing and killing somebody just because they got tried. Like, as long as nobody physically like grab your beef or nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like they did the dude from Friday After Next. Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying?
See that type of trying,
you gotta act when your physical body get violated. That's blatant disrespect. That's like, I feel like I could really have you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that word.
Yeah, I feel like if we
word.
I feel like, especially if you told somebody I don't get down like that, because, you know, Money Mike told Stun, he be like, yo, listen, man, I don't play that way, player. No shit. And Stun still trying to get crazy with him. Like, especially if somebody tell you I don't get down like that, and you try to get crazy, like, nah, you gotta get, you know, you gotta.
Then as a man, it's about respect. It ain't about who gay, who not. It's about respect. You know, it's about personal space. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you, my brother. This is our second video together, man. We gonna get it in more. Pause. We gonna lock in more. We go.
Yeah, you're a funny dude.
Hey, yo.
All the porn shit is part of the whole shit too.
It is. But it's just funny. We don't have to say it, but it's funny.
Yeah, a lot of shit is funny.
It's funny.
I think a lot of people misconstrue that shit too. Like, it be a lot of jokes, but, you know, sometimes, you know, we live in a sensitive time. People don't even want people joking with certain shit.
It's funny. If we can't joke, then we can't live, man.
I mean, you could joke. You gotta know who you could joke with and who you can't with. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your people, you heard?
Exactly. You gotta know your people, man. But this concludes this video, man. Once again, this is Vic Slang Hope. Type in your YouTube search bar, Vic Slang Hope. He's the only Vic Slang Hope out here, unless he's that lit and people is literally trying to be him. You know what I'm saying? Which will happen eventually, man. Subscribe to the brother's channel if you haven't, man. This concludes this video. Peace. Hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna let you know when this is up.
I appreciate you too, bro. Stay up.
All right, one.